welcome to the Joblogic training on what's available on the mobile app for an engineer before he goes to a visit. So when you signed in and accepted a job on your mobile app, you'll be presented with this screen where you have the option to travel to the job, which we covered in an earlier video. But what we've got available is we're now going to look at what's available for you before you actually travel to the job. So one of the main things you might want to look at is site notes. So here, for example, there's nothing in here at the moment, but effectively what you can get is details like there's a security number to put in as a gate, things like whichever site office you need to go to. It really depends on what has been put in there, but it just gives you an overview of the actual site you're going to, and it depends what the back office have actually put in there. You can actually add a site note, for example. So if nothing's been put in there and you actually go to a job, you can actually type in. So for example, a code is required of 1, 2, 3, 4 to gain access to the site. Then you just click Save Note, and then that then becomes a public note available to any engineer that goes on any future visits. Okay, you will notice that there's also something called visit notes. This is a distinct from the site notes. The site notes always pertain to the actual site itself. The visit notes actually apply to the actual visit you're going to. So there may be on this particular job that somebody's put in some actual visits notes on there. If not, you can add your own at any time, and you'll notice that you can actually make them private. The reason for that is you might want to put some notes just for you in the back office, just to let them know if there's any issues on the job, etc., that you don't want to be in the public mode, just in case your company allows public viewings of the notes, as that will apply on your notes screen. So you can add a note at any time, but in this case we're not going to. So what else is available to you? So here you also got another button called Tasks. If you click on that one, again, it's just a list of job tasks that may be specific to this particular job, and they would be listed under here. If there's nothing available, then you don't need to worry about it. Just click Previous Page, and that will go back to the next screen. Also here, any attachments you've got available for you. So that may be some pictures that may be available from previous jobs, to see the state of something, for example, but you may want to take a picture of a particular piece of equipment just to show what state that's in. It really depends on how your company want that done by yourself. Again, you can make them private or public. That is entirely down to you and how your company wants to run that. The other thing we've got available is a list of assets that are available on the job. So, for example, if you're going to an air conditioning, for example, you may have a particular air conditioning unit that you need as an asset on the job, and that would show you what assets are actually there installed already on that particular job. So as you can see, it's quite expansive what you can do. You've also got expenses. So if anytime you want to add expenses to the job, you just click on that, and you can put in things like that on there. So with the expenses here, if you clicked on there, it comes up with a list of things that you can actually put expensive for. You can actually free flow type as well if you want to. But for example, if you had parking on the job, click on parking, how much quantities there are, and effectively what's the cost of that parking to you on the job. You may be able to do that straight away. You may need to wait till the end of the job, but again, it's available to you at any time. And you just click Save on there. That then puts the expenses in. For this, it costs £5, but again, all you need to do is click Previous Page, and that takes you back to where you were at the beginning. So also available to you, if you look on here before you go to the job, is a load of other information for you. So again, you've got visit details. If you clicked on that, there would be any public notes here available. So if anybody's actually visited the site before pertaining to this job, then they would actually be showing in there for you. Any private notes available, that would be your own private notes that you wanted to put on the job. And again, it's just about clicking the minus button to pull that back up. If you clicked on the plus button, the job summary, that gives you a total of what the job summary itself. So it's a plumbing, it's a reactive call out. This one's been attended, but it would tell you the status on there. It also gives you a load of other details as well, like any priorities, any supervisors that you need to speak to, any other notes. So again, it's worth looking at these before you actually attend a site. Quote summary, this may be available to you if there's a quote available on the site, if somebody's quoted for the job that you're going to. Customer details, so this gives you the actual address, telephone number, mobile number if need, etc., and email address of the person you're going to see. Again, if you clicked on this particular link, it would actually take you to Google Maps again, and therefore you can actually do your sat nav from there. Again, you've got site summary. So here there could be things like we put in earlier. So a code is required 1, 2, 3, 4 to gain access to the site. But any notes in there that are available for this particular site. You've got jobs history on this particular site. Again, you can see all the list of all the jobs that are actually where the people have been out before. This may be useful, for example, in boiler leaking, if you can find out if it's actually happening several times in a row. You can also look at your site's quote history, if there are any quotes for the job. No, in this particular one, we haven't got anything, but there may be a list of quotes in there from previous jobs. Also, other visits for this job. So, for example, this one is useful for when there are more than one person going to a job. So, if you're the lead engineer, for example, going to a job, you can also find out if there are any other engineers coming to the same visit, and that would have a list of them in there for you. And then you've got your logbook and your view status. So in this case, the logbook, it just tells you the risk. We actually put a risk assessment form on this one earlier on, and that's got the engineer's name and the date that it was added. So anything that you've done that's been done on the job previous, then you can actually get that logbook actually shows up for you. And you can also look at your visit status history by clicking on that. So when it was a new job, when the job was accepted, and when we were traveling to the job. So as you can see, there is lots of information available to you before you go to a job. This has been the end of this video. We'll cover other aspects of the mobile device in future videos. Thank you very much.